For the first rule is the constant function rule. The derivative of any constant is always equal to 0. For example number 1, d over dx 7. So we must find the f of x. So f of x is equals to 7. Now if we apply the constant function rule, it would become 0. So, for the second rule, identity function rule. So, identity function rule is the derivative of identity function is equal to 1. Likewise, the derivative of a function on the first degree is equal to its given numerical coefficient. An identity function is a function where the output is the same as the input. For example, d over d of x. So, we must find f of x. So, f of x is equals to 5. Since according to identity function rule, where the output is the same as the input, the given is also the answer. The next is the power rule. Take the exponent as the numerical coefficient and subtract 1 from the given exponent of the variable x. For example number 1, d over d of x. 2x raised to 4 plus 6x raised to 3. Now, we would multiply 2 times 4, that is equals to 8, copy x, then minus 1, that would be 3. Plus 6 times 3, that would be 18. 18x minus 1, that would be 2. That is our final answer. For the next rule is the constant multifold rule. The derivative of a constant multiplied by a function is the constant multiplied by the derivative of the function. So it is similar to the power rule. So 5 is the derivative of x cubed. So it would become 5, then separate it. 5 multiplied by x cubed. So like power rule, there is an imaginary 1 here. So 1 times 3, that will become 3. Then minus 1 here, that would be 3x squared. So 5 times 3 is equals to 15. Then bring down x squared, and 15x squared is the final answer. For the next rule, we have the sum and difference rule. The sum rule says the derivative of a sum of function is the sum of their derivatives. The difference rule says the derivative of a difference of functions is the difference of their derivatives. For the first example, x cubed plus x raised to 5. Now let's put f of x here. Now, first thing that we should do is separate the two values. Now it would become x cubed plus x raised to negative 5. Now this is just like the power rule. Now there is an invisible one here. We should multiply that. That would become 3 times 1 is 3. Now minus 1 here, that would be 3x squared. Then let's put the positive sign here. Multiply 5 with the imaginary 1 here, and subtract 5 with the 1. Now 1 times 5 is equals to 5. Then let's put x, then 5 minus 1 is equals to 4. And that is our final answer. For the next rule, we have the product rule. So the product rule says that one function is multiplied by another. Each time, differentiate a different function in the product and add the two terms together. Now, we have the formula for the product rule. Derivative of f of x multiplied by g of x plus f of x multiplied by the derivative of g of x. Now, for the first one here. So, first let's find the f of x. So, this is the f of x. And this is the g of x. Now, we should find the derivative. of f of x and g of x. So this is just like following the power rule. Since these two are constant, we should cancel it out. Now there is an invincible one here and another invincible one here. So g of x would be equal to 1. Now x raised to 2, since there is an invisible one here, 1 multiplied by 2 is equals to 2. Then 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. Therefore, derivative of f of x is equals to 2. Let's now put in the values of the derivatives into the formula. Now, f of x, so f of x is equals to 2 multiplied by g of x. So g of x is equals to x plus 4 plus f of x. So f of x is equals to 2 multiplied by g, the derivative of g of x. So that is 1. Now let's solve it. Now should multiply this. So we have to distribute. Now 2 times x is equals to 2x. 2 times 4 is equals to 8. Plus 2 times 1 is equals to 2. So let's add 8 plus 2. So that would be 2x plus 10. That is our final answer. The quotient rule means that a method of finding the derivative of a function that is the ratio of two differentiable functions. So our first example, we have x over x plus 1. So the numerator is f of x and the denominator is the g of x. So to solve for a problem using quotient rule, we shall use the formula of derivative of f of x multiplied by g of x minus f of x multiplied by the derivative of g of x all over g of x squared. So the derivative of f of x, since x, there is an imaginary or invisible one, and it has the power of 1. So 1 times 1, that would be 1. Then minus 1 here, that would cancel out x. The remaining would be 1. Same for the denominator. X would be just 1, since so for the next value 1, that would just get cancelled out since it is a constant value. So we should put in our values into our formula now. So derivative of f of x, that is equals to 1, g of x is equals to x plus 1, then minus the f of x, that is x, then derivative of g of x is also just 1, then all over the g of x squared, then that would be x plus 1 squared. Then let's put in our value. So 1 multiplied by x, that would still just be 1, and 1 multiplied by 1, that would still just be 1. So x multiplied by 1, that would still just be x. So it will become x plus 1 minus x all over x plus 1 squared. So by cancelling our values, that would just be 1 over x plus 1 squared, and that is our final answer. So we are in the last rule, the chain rule. So the chain rule is a formula for computing the derivative of the composition of two or more functions. That is, if f is a function and g is a function, then the chain rule expresses the derivative of the composite function f, g in terms of the derivatives of f and g. So our formula is derivative of f of g of x multiplied by g of x. Now, this is the outer function and this is the inner function, which is the x cubed. Now, let us solve. So, our outer function, we have 5x squared minus 4x plus 2. The inner function is cubed. So we must differentiate the outer and inner functions to get the derivatives. So what is the derivatives of x3 and 5x squared minus 4x plus 2? So this is a constant, we should just cancel that out. 5x squared, that would be 10x. Then minus 4, since x would just get cancelled. Then 3 times 1 here, that would be 3x. Then 3 minus 1, that would be 3x. So that would be the derivatives of the inner and outer function. Now we must differentiate the whole function. So 5x squared minus 4x plus 2 is to 3. So we will multiply a 1 here. So that will be 3. 5x squared minus 4x plus 2. Then minus 1, that would be 2. Now, since we have the derivative of the 5x squared minus 4x plus 2, it would get, we shall multiply it with the 3. So 3 multiplied by 5x, 4x plus 2 squared. Then the 10x minus 4. Multiply that would be, and that would become 30x minus 1. So that would be just our final answer. Should multiply it now. So that would be 5x squared minus 4x plus 2 squared. Then we multiply this, that would be 30x minus 4 times 3, that would be plus 12. And that is our answer. And that is all for the chain rule.